Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Sim, thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I am going to announce to you that they are actually voting to make it illegal to boycott Israel. And what is going to happen if you boycott Israel? This is anti-boycott legislation, calls for jail time and 1 million US dollar fine if you boycott Israel. So what are they saying in essence? Mr. Orange, Agent Orange, is that threatens to jail US citizens for protesting. So what happens when you protest? If you protest, it's either you go to jail 20 years or you pay 1 million US dollars, right? To free yourself. Now, I am going to ask, is this the democracy that you all said you were voting for? As it stands, it is proving that it is autocracy. It is no longer democracy because any government that will infringe, because what they are trying to do is to infringe your right of speech. And you know that as a human being, one of your basic rights as a human being is freedom of speech. So they are trying to tell you that freedom of speech is actually allowed, but freedom after speech is not guaranteed as it stands. This I am going to officially tell you people that this is actually what you voted for. What am I saying this? I am saying this because you all made this happen. My own people tried so hard to warn you, but you all call them the G-siders. Let's get into this video.
So what happens when the entire nation boycotts Israel? What happens when every city, every town, every state boycotts Israel? Are y'all gonna lock everybody up and charge them $1 million or put them in for 20 years? Here you are struggling to deport immigrants legally with due process. You sat here on TV talking about, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna give all of them court dates? Like, how the hell are we gonna do that? Well, what's gonna happen when you have 17,000 protesters protesting Israel? Where are the prisons at to put these people in? Aren't they overcrowded right now? So how are you going to lock up people for 20 years on tax dollars and then charge them $1 million? How do you expect this plan to work? Y'all are bullying people for dissenting anything. You can't bully people for protesting Israel, just like you can't bully people for protesting the UK or protesting Canada or protesting Mexico. It doesn't fucking matter. You can't sit up there and withhold funds from colleges and universities because they don't like America. That's not how politics works. We as Americans have to go to other fucking countries. And guess what? We may go to these other fucking countries and we may not like those goddamn countries. Should they lock us up for 20 fucking years? And throw away the key? Do you want other countries to start grabbing up Americans and throwing them in jail and sending them to El Salvador? Do you want that to happen? Why are you sitting here attacking our allies? What the fuck is your problem? And Congress ain't no fucking better. Like, what the fuck is Congress in office for if all you're going to do is allow this man to rule as king? Why are we nominating you to represent us when you're going to allow him to just do what the fuck he wants? Why do you need our vote? And then you go to these town halls pissing off the people who actually put your dirty ass in fucking office. You go there and then you ask them to leave your town halls because they're dissenting, because they don't agree with what the fuck you're doing or what the Trump administration is doing to this country. Now here we have Israel, where y'all have vested interest in, which is why you want the extra $1 trillion. We just spent the last 3 weeks $1 billion trying to prevent Israel from getting attacked. And you know what just fucking happened? A hypersonic missile traveling 13,000 miles from the Middle East landed right next to an international airport in Israel. Almost blew that motherfucker up. And the Houthis are not fucking playing in Iran. They are ready for the smoke. So if you want to keep poking that teddy bear, Iran will rise up and they will kick America's ass. They are not ready. There's a reason why Iran is what it is. It has not been touched by the U.S. Americans. They tried that shit before and they understood. Leave fucking Iran alone. They just shot a hypersonic missile that bypassed both of Israel's defenses. The American THAAD system, THAAD, and the multi-arrow system that Israel has. to stop missiles. It bypassed both of them. These missiles can travel up to 10,000 miles per hour. They are nothing to fuck with. And the Houthis told them, this is because of what the fuck y'all did to Gaza and are doing to Gaza. And they warned that there will be more of these fucking missiles that are going to be attacking their fucking airports. You know what Israel had to do? Shut down every fucking airport for travel. Because what happens when one of those missiles hits a civilian plane full of civilians? These people are not playing with us. The United States has gotten too comfortable in its military presence. First of all, you dismissed a lot of military people to fight in this fucking war. You dismissed a lot of knowledgeable motherfuckers who know how to strategically infiltrate and do the fucking job that the army was so great for doing because of DEI. You dismantled the very structure of our army. And now you're sitting here poking bears as if we got the strongest military when the shit is in complete shambles. You got Pete Hegseth in the Pentagon putting in the fucking Pentagon with our tax dollars. The fucking alcoholic is out here drinking whiskey, Jack Daniels, and a fucking, I don't know, Long Island iced tea while he's texting his wife signal secrets, texting his fucking wife war secrets, and everybody else on the fucking Signal app that can be hacked by any fucking body. This is the person who's over our military standards, conduct, rules, controls, strategies. Two fucking idiots. And y'all want to fuck with Iran? Our troops are in fucking trouble. If you have a son, a daughter, a mother, this should alarm the fuck out of you. I don't give a fuck whether you're right or left. These people can lose their life because of what's going on right now. You may not have a mom next year. You may not have a brother next year. You may not have a son, a daughter, a cousin. You may not have them next year. Because what he's doing right now is causing a world war. And guess who they're looking at? The United States. Nobody's warring with anybody else. Everybody's looking at the United States, ready for us to bust the fucking move. You think people ain't standing by waiting for the U.S. to do some stupid shit? They are ready. And I'm sitting here like, how don't motherfuckers see this? How is Congress allowing this shit to happen? How is the Supreme Court, judges, anybody not shutting this man down completely? How is law enforcement listening to these people that he put in power? How is the FBI listening to this man? How is the military listening to Pete Hegseth do unconstitutional fucking rules? Unconstitutional demands on our agencies that we pay our taxes for. Now you're talking about locking people up for 20 years in what fucking prisons? How are you going to fund it? And charging them $1 million? When you put people in prison, it comes out of our tax dollars. You done rose tariffs sky fucking high. Now you're talking about charging the movie industry. It's just you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and people are too fucking prideful to admit that they made a fucking mistake, and they should have voted for Kamala. It's as simple as that. But before y'all admit that y'all made a mistake, and before y'all say y'all should have voted for a black woman, y'all will continue to allow this man to destroy this fucking country, and for us to sit by and watch it fucking happen. And if we happen to say something about this wonderful country that we love, then we're sent to prison for 20 years. Or we're fined with $1 million. Or we're deported to El Salvador. What the fuck is this? Where the fuck are we living? Is this our country or not? If so, let us know so we can get the fuck out of this motherfucker. Because at this point, there's no purpose in staying here. What are you staying here for? Just for your chance to be fucking deported? For your fucking chance to be abused, to be thrown in prison? To be your money stolen from? To be banned from any other fucking country that's around the United States? What is our purpose for staying here at this point? Why pay taxes so that you can fucking torture us for 4 fucking years? Why do states enforce us to pay federal taxes when they know you're wasting our money? All of this shit doesn't make sense to me. Maybe somebody in the comments can make it make sense.
Fascism is knocking on our doors once again, asking to be let in like a featured actor in the movie Sinners. They're not just coming after non-citizens for protesting now, though. They're coming after you next. Tomorrow, May 5th, the House of Representatives is voting on a bill that could criminalize your free speech. House Bill H.R. 867, otherwise known as the IGO Anti-Boycott Act, will go up for a vote with the House of Representatives, and it is shocking. This bill includes fines up to $1 million and 25 years in prison if you boycott Israel. Yes, Americans participating in boycotts of Israel or its settlements could face unconstitutional levels of punishment if those boycotts are endorsed by international bodies like the UN or the EU. Now, this is especially targeting small businesses and student groups. Under this law, you would no longer be able to refuse to do business with Israeli companies or settler groups, whether that is buying goods from them or selling goods to them. You would no longer be able to refuse participation or entry to Israelis who have served in the IDF, for example, in things like student groups, even under the basis of objection to immoral acts like, genocide or the killing of children. And I don't know about you, but that sounds a lot like a DEI policy to me. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is bad when it comes to oppressed minority groups, but when it comes to Israel, broadening anti-boycott legislation to target movements or ideologies that you do not like the BDS movement, that is fascism. That is a direct targeting of our constitutional liberties, our freedom of speech, and our right to protest. And it's a massive governmental restriction on political expression. This country was literally founded on that type of political expression, boycotts of foreign entities. Does the Boston Tea Party ring a bell to no one in Congress? Contact your local representatives and tell them to vote no on H.R. 867. You can find their information on house.gov through the Find My Representative tool. Unconstitutional bills like this shouldn't even make it off the ground.
An order for all of the people who refused to vote for Kamala Harris because she was too soft on Israel, because now we have the Trump administration, and because we're under the Trump administration, a bill is going through Congress that would add a penalty of $1 million or 20 years of imprisonment for anyone that boycotts Israel. Yes, if you boycott Israel, and if this bill goes through, you can be charged $1 million in penalties, or you can be sent to jail for 20 years. I'm going to read more specifics from this article that is from Al Jazeera. So the proposed legislation was introduced by pro-Israel hawks in the U.S. Congress, Republican Mike Lawler and Democrat Josh Gottheimer in January, and has been co-sponsored by 22 other lawmakers from both major parties. The bill would expand a 2018 law that bans coercive boycotts imposed by foreign governments to include international government organizations. The original legislation prohibits boycotting a country friendly to the U.S. based on an agreement with, a requirement of, or a request from or on behalf of another nation. It imposes penalties of up to $1 million and 20 years in prison for violations. While the bill itself does not explicitly mention Israel, its drafters have said that it targets the UN and the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, which calls for economic pressure on the Israeli government to end its abuses against Palestinians. Well, there you go. Congratulations, y'all. Is this what you wanted? This is why you couldn't bring yourself to vote for Kamala Harris? Because this is what you wanted? Well, congratulations, you played yourself. Huge.
I've seen a bunch of people talking about how today they're going to vote to make it illegal to boycott Israel in the House of Representatives, and while that's not exactly what's happening, it's kind of what's happening. So I would like to explain to the best of my abilities what this whole illegal to boycott thing is. Fun fact, it's already kind of illegal to participate in boycotts as a U.S. citizen. There's something passed in 2018 called the anti-boycott law that makes it to where it is illegal to boycott an allied nation of the United States if it is being boycotted by a different nation. So let's say, for example, if China, in theory, was boycotting Israeli goods and you decided to comply with that Chinese boycott, that would be illegal, punishable by a fine or up to 20 years in prison. That includes things like canceling exports or imports, refusing to work with people who are affiliated with that nation that is considered an ally of the United States, publishing like information. So let's say that you're a publication and you publish that like these people have been affiliated with this like Israeli corporation that is being boycotted. So like stuff like the BDS website, things like that. Would be considered illegal if you were doing that as a way to participate with a different nation. The thing that they are going to be doing today that they are voting on is they are trying to expand that law. So once again, anti-boycott law already exists. They're trying to expand it to not just include countries, but to include IGOs, which are international government association or organizations, international government organizations. Things like the UN, things like the World Trade Organization, and probably most relevant to what we're all thinking about in this moment, the ICC, the International Criminal Court. So let's say, for example, the ICC declared some sort of boycott or sanctions or whatever on Israel, and you decided as a U.S. citizen that you wanted to participate in those, that would be considered an illegal act, punishable by fine or up to 20 years. And participate in those, once again, includes things as simple as publishing what companies are Israeli and people who have worked with those companies. So, yeah, while it's not technically vote to make boycotting Israel illegal, it kind of is. Like, if you're not buying things from a place, right, obviously they can't force you to buy Israeli goods, but they are trying to shut down the spread of communication about what goods are Israeli goods. Yeah, if you did that in the name of a boycott.
This is all I got from this video, and I don't know, sometimes I look at US and I am like, what is going on? They are so backward with most of their, like politically. They so far, like presently, I am not saying like all the presently, they are politically backward. And the way they call people like, third world countries and all that, sincerely speaking, there is nothing like third world countries, like probably could a developing country. But as it stands, I can say that I feel like US is a developing country with their decision. It is not, but I am saying because the kind of decisions that come out from that place is a little bit crazy on a serious note. Tell me how new legislation could add a penalty of a whole 1 million. How many US citizens, like, let's be sincere, how many US citizens at this point in time, like the masses, have 1 million US dollars in their account? Or you go to spend 20 years in jail for boycotting Israel. What is going on? Now, I am not even screaming. Like, I am going to say this was what Black people tried warning you people. When I say Project 2025 is a huge thing, some people thought it's a joke or they think it's a joke. No, it is not a joke. As I still speak to you, Project 2025 is a huge thing. For those that do not know, right? So it is safe to say that they try to warn you people. And I am going to say this. Where are the pro-Palestinians? Where are they? Where are you people? Now, it looks like they just, I don't know, pluck off your eyes. You just said, somebody will just like, pluck up your eyes and put it on your palm, and you are straight up there watching. This is exactly what you all voted for. This is what you campaigned for. This is what you agitated for. This is what you discourage people from, because you all sat down and told yourself like there is no need voting for the other person. Let's do this because whatever your excuse was, I do not want to hear it, and I do not care about whatever your excuse was. But what I can tell you is that it is cooked. You all are cooked. No lies. You all at this point in time occurred because it is getting really tougher. If I say tough, we still have to say tough, toughest, right? Yes. That is the way this man, fascist. You know fascism? This is it. Capitalism at its peak. Imperialism at its peak. All of it. Tyrant. This is who you all agree that this is what you are going to vote for. And now you did. Look at what it's going on. So it is very, very much safe for me to say they try to tell you all that this was going to happen. And it is kicking in already. Now I am going to ask those congressmen and women, those senates and all that you people have, why do you people have them? Now you can see that the Republicans also do not even care. Because so far it's been proven, if somebody woke up and decide that they are going to pass this bill, this bill will be in, they are going to pass this bill, so people will be sent to jail. It's a threat. This is a huge threat to jail. Like, how many, do you know, literally, the world is about to, everybody's just about to be in prison as it stands. So as it stands now, there ain't anything like freedom of speech. You cannot, expressing yourself is a jail term kind of thing. Do not think of it. Do not say you will do it. Do not clock out there to do it, because you will be sent to prison, jail for 20 years. Or you pay $1 million US. I don't know how to say this, but hear me out. This man is a threat to human rights. You have one of your human rights as a human being is the ability to express yourself, freedom of speech. But now they are trying to tell you that freedom after speech is not what is guaranteed. You are free to talk, but what happens after the talking? So it means you all are going to be silent for as long as I am going to be in power. And human beings are out there supporting this movement. Human beings are out there supporting this man. Human beings are out there sharing all this up. Now, Gaza, Israel, Palestinians, Palestine, you all can see. This is exactly why my own people try so hard to save you people from. But you all never saw that. Even till today, if they wake you all up, you always say black people are the cause of your problems. Very ignorant people. Bye for now.